Hello, everyone, and welcome to the the Power Up Podcast, episode 46. I'm your host, Taylor, and I'm joined by David White.
Hello.
Let's see, this is your first time on Power Up, but you usually do Retro Rumble. So...
I am the host of Retro Rumble, yes. So this is going to be an interesting experience for me. It's going to be like traveling into the future, because we're going to be talking to like... I'm usually stuck in the past, you know. So we're going to be talking. Was it PS4 now? Is that where we're at?
PS 5.2.
Yes, around there.
Are Amiga still going? No.
It's actually the Ouya took off. We're all got Ouyas plugged into our TVs nowadays. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Heck yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
yeah. Well, you know, you're traveling to the future now. Anthony and I traveled to the past a couple weeks ago with you, so I think it'll about even out. It'll about even out. Let's see, Andrew, you're back.
Hi, I'm fresh from vacation.
Ooh.
Relaxed. I'm feeling good. I was in Mexico. I was in Mexico for my sister's wedding, and it was fantastic. Beautiful ceremony. You know.
Cool.
Did you go to Cancun, or what part?
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now. Cabo San Lucas. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Very nice, okay. I've been down there a couple times.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Have you just been on vacation the past week, or have you done some time to play some games?
I've had some time. I've been playing some games.
Okay.
You know, Red Dead is still a constant in my life right now.
Still going?
Yeah, I'm still plugging away at that game. I'm enjoying it still.
Have they
It's a
given
little-
an update? Or
An update for what?
because they usually do like a day one patch thing to fix
There
some
was a
issues
day.
or whatever.
There was a day one, but I don't think anything else so
Yeah,
far.
okay, cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen a patch come over.
But I'm like at a part now. It's a little, I don't know. I maybe could have done without this section of the game. It seems a little forced. It's like
Oh, okay.
chapter 5. So I don't
Oh,
know
wow.
Okay.
How far you're in there, but
I
chapter
just got
5.
To the second little base camp that we set up.
Okay, so you're still
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So this is quite a bit on from that. But yeah, there's just a section I'm like, I don't know about this part. Hopefully it's quick. We'll see how quick it goes.
Cool.
Okay.
But yeah, playing that, and then oh boy, let me tell you, Tetris Effect.
Oh no.
Woo!
I saw you
That-
stream that.
I did.
And
I
that
streamed
was
it.
fun.
I streamed the demo, and that was already fantastic. Now the whole game is out.
Yeah,
Tetris
yeah.
Effect.
You
If
got
you
it,
like
did you?
yourself, yeah. I was in Mexico and I got it delivered in my house. Like,
Oh no.
there, I'll get it when I get back.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, man, that's some fantastic Tetris.
Yeah.
I love puzzle games, kind of like where you're just kind of competing against yourself and you know, racking your score. And Tetris, I don't know what it is about Tetris. I feel like it is like the perfect game, I guess, right? Like that's the only game I
Timeless.
could. Yeah, right. It's like the only
Absolutely.
game that just you could be like, this will forever be good, no matter, unless you make it a bad version. Doesn't feel right. But
Interestingly, there was a documentary a little while ago, made a little while ago, called The Tetris Effect.
yes,
And it focused a lot on what makes Tetris so special, and it's like hypnotic qualities almost, and why people are so addicted to it, and why is it so satisfying to play. So, when it comes to being a game that's perfect, it's as an example of a game that is perfect. Well, enjoyable to play and hypnotic. It's great in that respect. Yeah.
I think this version is like my favorite version of Tetris.
It was really surreal.
I haven't
And-
even played it,
Yeah.
and it's my favorite version. It looks so cool,
Yes.
and the music and
There's-
everything, it's great.
so much good music. The visuals are fantastic. I
Yeah.
haven't played it in VR, unfortunately.
Oh,
I
no.
do hope to do that eventually. See, but yeah, it's just like, you know, it's kind of got like, if you guys have played Luminous, you know, they got little like skins or like flavors to each one with different music, and like as you move the pieces, making more music as you're clearing lines, it's adding to the music. Everything is adding to the music. So it's really cool. They have the journey mode, which is like the story mode, kind of like brings you on like a journey. It's kind of like an album, right? You got these things that kind of are separate from each other,
Yeah.
but they kind of work together in this weird way.
Yep.
And it's just really fantastic Tetris. And it is a little pricey. I could see where people will maybe be like, oh, it's just Tetris, you know, but it's like $40. It's a little
Oh.
expensive.
Okay.
I understand it. You know, people are a little taken back by the price, but if you like Tetris in any way, and you know if you like Tetris much, this is just my favorite Tetris, and it is so good. Like, whether I'm zoning out, like really relaxing and playing it, or I'm just like ignoring everything around me and like trying to go for high scores, it's just the perfect. So good.
Awesome. And then Anthony, what you been playing at?
Not much this week actually. Pretty relaxed. I say that every week, I reckon. But I haven't really been, like, it's weird when you work on a site and you're constantly surrounded by like gaming news and all this stuff and social media. You barely get time. It's not even barely get time to play games, but it's like you kind of lose the urge to kind of play games. I suppose.
I gotcha. Yeah, just kind of immersed around it and everything.
Yeah,
fatigued
a little bit. But I am keen for Just Cause 4. Hopefully I'm going to be getting a review code for that, which should be sometime next week, hopefully. Next week, because it comes out on December 5th. It's made by the same guys who did Mad Max, which is awesome. It's still done by Avalanche Studios, but it's got a couple of different people on board, and it looks amazing. So
is that Square Enix or is that Warner?
It's Square Enix.
Square Enix.
You know, I have to bring this up. You know what other great game that I played that Square Enix made?
Heck yeah.
Everyone needs to play The Quiet Man, please.
Yes.
It's so bad.
It's not a waste of money, we swear. But I mean, apart from that, not a whole heap. Just been doing social media stuff and YouTube and all that fun stuff. Got Split Second, which is an old like racing game, which is like you gotta trigger events and all that kind of thing. I played it when I was like 13, and now I'm like, this isn't so good anymore. This is a bad idea.
You know that was made by Disney Studios.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, and David, okay, what arcade booth have you broken out of the basement playing this week?
Well, you know, I've not actually been playing much at all, to be honest with you. Following our last couple of episodes of Retro Rumble, Soul Plug, I just dove into a couple of games that I remembered why I loved them so much, and that is Manhunt. I played that straight through. It's a game that I almost always play straight through because it's just one of those games you can really zone out to. And you know, the greatest game of all time called Half-Life. You know that one?
That's pretty good.
We talked about it a little bit.
Really fun little game, and I'm a big fan.
I was actually tempted to play that last night. I was like, I'm good.
Have you played another game that you said you were going to play as well? I want to know your opinion.
I haven't played that yet. Haven't played it yet.
You haven't got it yet?
Haven't got it yet.
Tron 2.0. It was my number 5 for the last episode of Retro Rumble. Just so the listeners know, was a top 5 of our own personal top 5s of in the first-person shooters genre, and it was myself, Anthony, and Taylor. And Tron 2.0 was kind of like my surprise number 5, I guess, because it just came out of left field. I just played it not that long ago, and I just loved it immediately, and it's straight to number 5 for me.
Cool.
So Anthony was going to play it, but he hasn't.
Well, I'm actually thinking about doing like retro reviews and having one of them as one of it. Yeah. So
yeah, definitely.
I might be picking it up maybe this week.
Okay.
So we'll see how we go.
All right. Very cool. Update on my PC front. It is almost done. I have almost all the parts sitting behind me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do a graphics card tomorrow morning, and the case is on its way here.
Cool.
Like, it's ordered. It's kind of on its way here. The tracking number is being a little bit wonky. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah. So yeah, that's that. And what's up?
And ironically, the part that killed your PC, Corsair just won an award for. So
yes.
Hooray!
The European hardware community has awarded Corsair the Best Power Supplies Award for 2018.
Well, see, they sent you the European version. You plugged in and just fried everything. Wrong voltage.
Oh yeah.
That's probably what happened.
True.
Yeah, it was my fault, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, it should have got a converter.
Yep. My bad. My mistake. Anyway, past that, I haven't played Red Dead 2 the past couple days, but I did play it earlier in the week. I've now dedicated myself to getting the Legend of the East Satchel, because that thing is apparently overpowered. And so yeah, I've just been hunting, and I think I'm almost there. I'm a little over halfway there to it. Like I'm pretty sure.
What does that do for you?
So if you did so you have to craft all the satchels leading up to it, and then once you finally craft the Legend of the East satchel, it's basically like all your inventory slots increase to 99.
Okay.
Like you're like 99 tonics or whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay, man. All right.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
I've decided to do that. I haven't progressed much in the story at all. Yeah. I just got to the point where you go to the not Louisiana part of the game.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Have you got any legendary fish?
No, not yet.
Do you need them for that? Oh, because I was gonna say.
No.
I feel like there's a story point where you get better gear.
Oh, okay.
You have to, yeah. So it'd be hard to get that stuff.
Sorry, legendary fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought I heard that. Yeah.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. What does that even do for you?
It's a really cool Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think I sent it into the guy who wants fish. I don't know if you've met him yet.
I don't think so, actually.
There's a dude who's like, "Hey, send me your fish." And I'm like,
Oh,
"All right,
okay.
send me the fish."
Okay. Have a 4-day-old fish. Enjoy.
Well, he stuffs them and makes them.
Okay, cool.
Okay, then.
Even nicer.
He doesn't eat them.
Alright, so, past all that and everything, our main site is, of course, cultureofgaming.com. We have a Facebook community group, both for the main site, which is facebook.com/cog.net, and, of course, a community group for Power Up Podcast, facebook.com/powerpod. We have a community Discord, a link to which you can find on the sidebar of our main site, and then Twitter @cog.net, Instagram @cultureofgaming, YouTube. If you search us, we're now the first people that come up. We still have yet to hit 100 subscribers yet, though. So, few good things happen once we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, okay? Hear me out. Okay? Not only do we get a cool custom URL, so that I can just say youtube.com/cultureofgaming and be done with it, but once we hit 100 subscribers, one lucky subscriber will win a full game of their choice. Yeah, so if you're a subscriber, tell us, hey, like comment or something, because we didn't see it and everything. Like comment on the video, hey, I wanna like be in here or something, right? We'll pick a subscriber, be like, all right, you get $60 spent on a game of your choice. We'll give you that game, okay? So, yeah, please, for the love of God, help us out, okay? And then twitch.tv/cultureofgaming, okay? You might be here right now. You might be there right now. Our Power Up Podcast has a MySpace page, myspace.com/powerpod. You can ask us questions at any one of those channels, although we do much prefer our community Discord or Twitch chat. Anyway, so let's get into the gaming news. Let's talk about Detective Pikachu.
Oh yes.
Is this gaming
love
news
it.
or is this movie news?
It can do both. Yeah.
Cool.
I just kind of wanted to front load this topic here.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. So Detective Pikachu. I love it. What do you guys think?
I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
I wasn't. I mean, I knew of the movie. I wasn't super excited about it. The trailer sort of just popped up on my own feed, and I gave it a go. It answered one of my questions, and that was, how is Ryan Reynolds going to sound? Is Ryan Reynolds going to do some weird voice? Because I imagined this kind of high-pitched take on Deadpool in a way, and it was going to be quite bad. But they handled it in a way that I should have really predicted, and that was, no one else can hear me, but everyone else can hear Pika Pika and something adorable. But this guy can hear me, and I'm actually a really gruff, serious private eye or detective or whatever. So I thought visually, I thought the animations of the Pokemon were a little bit rough. I didn't think they were that good. Personally, I thought they were a bit early 2000s. I thought, CG wise, I thought we would have a lot better than that. It might be, made to look a lot better for the movie when it's released. But I don't think so. But that's not really a huge complaint from me. I'm not really too bothered by that. I just thought they would look a bit better. That's all.
Okay. Andrew, what you thinking?
Yeah, like I agree, David. I was surprised at how it was like. Okay, yeah, it's fun. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Ryan Reynolds is doing his Ryan Reynolds thing. I feel like nothing
Yeah.
new.
It's not Danny DeVito.
Yes, which I'm bummed
yeah.
about, man. Give me some Danny DeVito in there. He would have been a great detective too. Oh yeah, it looks fun. I am a little disturbed by like Mr. Mine. That guy, terrible. He
Oh, yeah.
so frightening, man. Didn't like the way some of that stuff looked, but
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Imagine just walking down the street in the middle of the night and seeing that standing at the other end of the street.
Yeah,
Just
it's,
standing there doing his old mime thing. Like,
and
you
like
can't
he
get
got
past.
arrested. I'm pretty sure. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and he was
Like
there
they're
was like a
interrogating him in the scene, you know?
yeah, there was like a good bit with him and stuff with like the wall and stuff. That was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it maybe like it'll shed a little bit of light on Pokemon world that's not just like super fun. Like I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It looked
And
alright.
that weird thing, what's that weird thing that's doing the rounds where they keep saying the Pokemon are real? Isn't it not set in the universe of Pokemon? So to the characters it would be real anyway. So, what are they trying to say with that? I'm not sure I get it. Have
What
you
do you
seen
mean?
that?
I'm not
It just
sure I
says
follow.
I see a lot of like pictures and trailer sort of posters, I guess. Not posters, but images online saying Pokemon are real. Question
think
mark?
I
Exclamation
think
mark?
it's more just saying like, oh, this is a realistic take on Pokemon type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but they were real things anyway in their own game world, so I'm not sure what that's trying to say. It's weird.
I think they're more trying to address it, the way they're kind of portraying them as like a real creature in this world kind of thing, instead of like a cartoon kind of animal, maybe.
Yeah, it's just weird. I find it strange. I don't quite see what they're getting at.
Yeah,
What they're
true.
trying to suggest with that, because at no point did the Pokemon ever thought of as being, cartoon creatures coming into our world or something like that. Like some
Right.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of thing.
Or not like a
Yeah.
Digimon type thing.
Yeah. So bizarre. I maybe they're saying they're made to look real. They look like living creatures in the film, but they're going about it a really weird way. But I don't know if that's the movie makers doing that or what. That could be anybody. That could be anybody coming up with that sort of slogan or whatever.
Yeah.
I just thought it was.
All right, Anthony, what were your thoughts on?
Well, I like it. The whole Pikachu voice is good. I think it's the way they're going with the whole movie is like they need to kind of make it more of a kind of realistic take on Pikachu rather than like a whole high-pitched, weird, squeaky detective. It wouldn't really work, I guess. I think the Pokemon look good. I think they've just got problems with the fur mechanic of it. Like it's a bit overdone.
Okay.
Because like for instance the non-furred Pokemon look good, like Charizard or whatever, even though he does have a bit of fur, it's more like a skin kind of thing. I like the direction it's going. I just hope that they kind of keep it, they don't kind of go down the whole Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of thing. And they kind of keep it like a good quality movie rather than just kind of appealing to kids or whatever. Or like that, what was it? That adult version of the Muppets movie that they did?
Yes.
I hope
okay.
they don't go down there. That'd be so bad.
Okay.
That'd be shocking.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's looking good. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know. I thought the trailer was good.
Yeah.
So
did
I was fine with everything in it. I thought it was awesome, actually. Like I legitimately want to see the movie.
Oh yeah, me too. My criticisms aren't going to affect my actual wanting to go see it. I thought the animation could be a little bit better, but that's just me being picky.
Yeah.
Right.
It still looks good, but it's not exactly 10 out of 10 for me in terms of Pokemon animation and detail and all that stuff. Not that I really look too much into that. But it
Yeah.
was just something that kind of stood out to me a little bit, but it's not hugely important to me. And I will definitely go and see it.
Okay. Yeah. I think they did the best with like the budget they had, type thing. But did you guys ever see the movie Pixels a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Okay.
refuse to see it.
Okay.
looks bad, but it looks the right kind of bad.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It is bad. It is the right kind of bad though. But it's like a lot of the Pokemon designs in that, or I don't want to say designs, but a lot of like the movements and animation kind of reminded me of how Pixels did it. But
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
which was not the worst part about that movie.
Okay.
So Yeah.
I mean, I did the whole animation and everything in pixels wasn't too bad. Like, obviously everything was trying to be 8-bit, but it was like, as far as the whole animation side of things, I didn't mind it. And to be honest, I didn't really mind the movie either that much.
Okay.
It wasn't awesome, but it wasn't too bad. So yeah.
Get out.
It's one of those films where I kind of want to see it, but at the same time, I always find an excuse not to, because I know I'm gonna hate it so much.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hate it way more than you guys, I reckon.
Wreck-It Ralph's where it's at.
Like Toru Iwatani plays a character who created Pac-Man, but he doesn't play himself. He plays a different person.
Isn't there basically like a Billy Mitchell stand-in on that as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to see this movie. Dang it.
I thought that was who. What's his name? The guy who plays.
The Game of Thrones guy, right? I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Dinklage.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage.
Yes, yeah. I thought that was a very interesting dig at Billy Mitchell.
It seems that way, right? I haven't seen it.
He's a small man actually trying to be a big man. I don't know. It's
You said it, man. Not me.
All right.
Billy Mitchell, man. He's not a cool guy. I don't like him at all.
I don't think many people do right now.
Oh yeah, they have a
have.
reason, but I think
what's like a recent controversy with him? I haven't heard that name in a while.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, he got like banned from like Twin Galaxies and stuff like that. Like.
Oh, it's that dude?
Yeah, because
Okay. I know what you're talking about now.
in the movie he was like caught cheating as well, funnily enough. And they like the whole like universe in the movie was nearly destroyed because of it.
Wait.
Yeah.
Are you saying the documentary filmmakers caught him cheating and they kind of covered it up? Is that what you're saying?
No. So in the Pixels movie.
No, we're saying him like.
I'm saying Pixels
in
is a
there's, like,
documentary.
And Pixels, they're trying to dig at him like cheating. And everything.
Yeah, like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, that does make me want to watch it a bit more.
it's
Right,
kind of a
okay.
movie where it's so bad that it's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's like The Quiet Man.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That is a thin tightrope to walk, because a film could go from being good bad to bad so easily for me, which is in general, I think. So
I think. All right. There's like a little bit of a range here, right? So in order of like dissension. So you have a good movie, okay?
It's right in the middle. Good movie.
Yeah, you have like a good movie, okay? You know, it's like something. You know what? You know that was the theater ticket and date. That wasn't such a horrible experience, okay? You know, not too bad. You have a bad movie, okay?
End
Just
of
like, huh?
It's like the end of the spectrum, right? It's like bad.
No, that's the tier below. It's like you have
Okay. Good,
like
bad.
a bad movie, and then you have
Ugly.
a movie so bad it's good.
Yes. But
And then you
that's
have-
on the other side of the spectrum, though, because it's so bad it's good is over here.
Well, I'm saying like that part repeats though. I'm saying like
okay.
so it's like so you'll dip into bad territory. If you go far enough past bad territory, you'll eventually hit so bad it's good. And then you can go even further than that where it's just like garbage and they found it in a dumpster somewhere. And then there's a point even further below that where it's so bad it's just incredible.
Have you guys seen The Room at all?
I was gonna say for reference, The Room falls into that last category.
I think
Yeah.
The Room is fantastic. I've seen that multiple times.
That movie interests me because I've not seen it. Apparently, it's been the maker just dumped it on YouTube, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he did. That's true, actually.
Yeah,
He
it did.
gave up.
My friends and I watched the official YouTube release when it first came out.
That's right. I'm
So-
gonna
so-
break
so
out my
what else?
signed Blu-ray copy.
Cool.
Wait, really? Do you really have?
Yeah, do you have that?
Oh my
I
god.
have the case signed by
He's
Tommy
keen.
Gunn.
Oh my god, that's going on eBay in a few years.
No, it is. I gotta frame that thing.
Damn, I was going to say something, then I forgot what it was. Okay, without spoiling the plot or the story of any of the movie at all, what precisely makes it so bad? Because you can kind of, from imagery and things like that, you can kind of get a movie's bad.
Adam
just
Sandler.
from
That's what.
Are we talking about
Wait,
Pixels or The Room? What are we talking?
Yeah.
the Room.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Acting? Horrible.
Okay.
Dialogue delivery? Horrible. Writing?
Right.
Horrible.
Repeating,
It's the
terrible.
Quiet
Yeah.
Man.
Sex scenes? Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Ab-
just
10 out of 10.
It's just such
Multiple
a,
sex scenes as well.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
So what? It's just so lazily.
It's very overacted,
terribly
and it's very overacted. So like,
Yeah.
it's, like everything is. You have to think about it as like this was shot in a serious way, and just listening to how the lines are delivered, like these people thought they were creating this like melodramatic thing, and then
like, yeah.
it's just everything is just so
and it's
funny.
toe-curlingly bad.
Yeah, and
Yes,
it's just
it's-
it's so like they can't be serious, right? This is too bad for them to be serious. But no, they were very serious when they made the movie, so it makes it just fantastic. And there's a bunch of little things into that you'll see and just like, why did that happen? You know,
I
like,
mean, my favorite shot of the whole movie is like, so there's this, like, I don't want to say wide shot because they don't really have wide shots. There's just this shot of like this Naboo-looking lake house or something from Star Wars, and just like the entire frame is just that. And then all of a sudden, Tommy Wiseau just walks in front of the camera, and then and then it like shows a few more seconds of just, you know, the lake house, and then it cuts to the next scene. It's just like, what?
yeah,
Yeah, that's one of my favorite
there's some
scenes.
bizarre stuff in the movie.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you really have to see it to
Yeah.
experience it, and I also think it's something everyone should experience once in their life, which is now easy to do because it's just on YouTube.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm intrigued.
I'm
go
good.
watch it after the podcast. Okay. Go
I
watch
might
it.
actually. I might just do that. Yeah, I might do that.
It's like an hour and a half, I think.
It's not long. No, it's not. It's not
Yeah.
so long.
All right, so we were supposed to be gaming news.
Cool.
Back to gaming news.
Can always talk about the room. Hit me up. I got you guys.
All right, Andrew.
Yes.
Looks like E3 is going to be like 2 hours shorter this year.
Well,
next year.
at least that's what it seems like, right? Because Sony is not going to be at E3. PlayStation apparently have commented that they will not be at E3 this year. Or sorry, not this year, but next year. I'll bring out a little quote here from Sony Interactive Entertainment. As the industry evolve, SIE, Sony Entertainment, continues to look for innovative opportunities to engage the community. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we've decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019. We can't wait to share our plans with you. So that is basically what the gist of them saying to Kotaku, or I'm not sure if it was just to Kotaku in general. That's their statement.
Okay. And then
so-
to correspond to it, did you happen to see the leak that came out to it?
No,
that
I
said
didn't.
that they're just gonna hold like their own separate event and drop the PS5.
See, that's where it's interesting, is that either are they just going to do their own event around the same time, like kind of like what EA does, or a couple I think other people do now is
They could do like a Nintendo kind of thing where they kind of don't even
even
show up
that.
and then just do like a Nintendo Direct style.
like they have a booth, which I'm assuming they're going to have a booth there.
You
They
would
may-
think,
they
right?
may
But this
not
to me
even
sounded
have
like
that.
they were just completely absent.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're not send anyone.
Well, the weird thing is that, people always, with E3, you have to pay for that floor space, because once you've not paid for the floor space, you're not going to get it. Like someone else is going to take it up from you.
Right.
So that's why Konami has like booths at E3 every year with like, a single stall of like Metal Gear Survive or something weird, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I can only assume they're still going to have a booth there, like with stuff to play.
Hopefully.
That's what I can't imagine them not being there completely, because even Nintendo, who is been not doing E3 stuff, is still at E3 with their booths.
Right. And they still send people too.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
there's tons of stuff there from them. It's just
Yeah.
they don't have a proper conference. So yeah, I'm not sure what this is either about. They say, oh, we want to do stuff in 2019. Also, they just canceled, the PSX this year. So there's no PlayStation Experience this year. So unless they're deciding to move PlayStation Experience to a little earlier next year or mid next year around E3, see that maybe happening, to cancel this one at the end of the year, move it to the middle of next year. I don't know. It's just me thinking out loud.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anthony-
I just want to. Real
Anthony-
quick, do you guys
Yeah.
think like this is an E3 problem or a Sony problem? That's my like.
Sony.
Is E3 okay? Sony problem? Like,
Yeah.
you don't think E3 is irrelevant anymore?
No.
I was
no way.
going to ask, do we think this is like a sign of E3 diminishing in value, so
Right.
to speak? Maybe. Maybe developers aren't. I mean, all right. I look at it like this, right? There are so many different ways to get your marketing and to get announcements of your product out to the public now that just didn't exist 23 some odd years ago when E3 first started coming. So maybe they kind of think, maybe the Giant conference in San Diego isn't the way to go anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of discussed this about, when's E3's in July, right?
Usually
June.
June, okay. So I discussed, before we did E3 this year, I kind of had I think we discussed this on a podcast a while back. I kind of think that it's not irrelevant because I think that gaming needs to come, as far as a business standpoint it is, but as far as like a community standpoint, I think gaming needs to come back to one event rather than kind of having it all over the place like what Nintendo does and all that. I think it needs to be a lot more kind of everybody joins together and celebrates what's coming out, what's happening, and I think that gaming needs to do more of that because otherwise you kind of end up with an EA situation where they've just got loot boxes and all this crap involved in their games because they're not kind of getting hands-on with their community. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel they really do need to have a major event or multiple events each year where they can kind of sit down with their community and say, hey, what do you want from us kind of thing. Otherwise, it's just a segregation, I reckon.
Yeah.
But as far as a business standpoint, it probably saves money for them. And it's probably easier for them to do. And it's probably a better way of them kind of presenting their product, I suppose you could say.
Is it not the case that they just feel like they don't have anything to display?
I was going to bring that up also
A bit
because
further ahead, perhaps?
I was going to bring that up also because my buddies and I were talking about this last night. Funnily enough, like I'm not even BSing right now for sake of conversation. This was legitimate. A topic of conversation is: does Sony all right? So you go past Death Stranding, and you go past The Last of Us 2,
Yeah.
and you go past the Final Fantasy VII remake, which is apparently still happening. What does Sony have past that?
They have that Shadows Die Twice. That's
okay.
is that exclusive? I'm not sure if that's exclusive.
It is.
I think it is.
It is.
I would hope it'd be on PC also, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's on PC. But then there's also that Ghost of Tsushima game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's
So they've got a couple
multi-plat,
games that they haven't. No, that's not. That's exclusive.
Wait, what am I thinking of? Shadows Die Twice. Isn't that multi-plat?
That might be multi-plat.
Yeah, I think
It might
is.
be Dark Souls co-op type thing. So.
Yeah.
But so they have the Ghost of Tsushima,
Okay, yeah.
which is
Or I guess
Yeah.
the better point to make is because they kind of outlined their future at E3 this past year.
yeah,
Right?
pretty much right.
It's so we move past that. What more do they have to show?
Well, funnily enough, I actually have a quote here that I've dug up. So back in September, there was a PlayStation Experience podcast, promotional podcast that they were having. And it was brought up, what are your plans for next year's E3? And I don't know the name of the guy who said this, but he said we wouldn't have enough to bring people all together in the same location in North America to have the event. It's someone Layden, I believe his name is. So he's basically said that they don't have enough to bring to E3.
Okay.
So,
That's-
yeah.
Wow, that's
Well, they're also probably gearing up for PS5 or whatever they're gonna call it.
yeah.
Could be, I don't know. Maybe they're not ready to show those games yet.
Right. Yeah, that to me is a little bit strange to think about because you think of Sony, it's one of the big three. It's just what do you mean they don't have enough to show? What?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah, I
David,
wonder
how
what
would
they're gonna
how would
do.
this go back in the day? How would this go back in the day, David?
How would it go? I have no idea. I'm trying to think of the earliest conventions and that. I don't know. I'm really not sure how it would go back in the day. Let me jump in my Wayback Machine. With the machine that brought me here, and I'll get back to you. But I just think they've looked at their roster of games and what's coming up, and they probably have like a bunch planned rather for maybe early 2020 or something like that. And they think, well, let's not turn up with only a handful of games. We want to make it really big, so we'll just
Yeah.
save all we have for the E3 after that. So yeah, E3 2020. I would be very surprised if Sony didn't attend that one, and they didn't come with like a just huge wave of new stuff.
Or even
I
PlayStation
just
experience.
just not wasting their time, basically. You know, they're just not. You know, we don't. What's the? We just maybe they should just be honest and say, if I am right, they don't have enough to really present.
Yeah.
They don't feel it's going to be worth the while. So we're just going to leave it till next year. I don't think it's that. I honestly don't think it's that big a deal.
Do you think this is Sony kind of knee-jerking to their reaction they got at their E3 conference? Because Sony did change it up this past year by only focusing on like 4 or 5 games total. And now do you think, you know, that overall garnered some negative reaction as a whole from people? Even though I liked it, I thought it was fine, to be honest. But do you think Sony wants to structure back to how they used to present? And they're saying, you know, if we were to go back to how we used to present stuff, would we have enough? Or it's like, oh, we don't have enough. So should that be?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I honestly
What else
reckon.
would they do, right?
Yeah, I reckon they might even fully move out of E3, to be honest, and do their own thing.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Do you think they're doing it because they're just going to come up with their own sort of Sony conference? Kind of?
Yeah.
Well, they had a Sony.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't they already have that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, they canceled this year. They've had it, and last year was a little less spectacular. So maybe they're just trying to fold it all into one thing and make it one big spectacular moment for themselves to hold the spotlight.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Nintendo and Microsoft then kind of joined together this year and were like, hey, we can't wait to see you at E3. We've got so much stuff coming.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be.
You don't think Nintendo would switch back to an in-person presentation, do you?
Oh no, never. I don't think they would ever do that.
Well, I reckon they might even join together with Microsoft this year a bit and kind of be like, do a couple of projects with them. They might not have their whole like conference on at E3. They will probably still do it online, but they might do a couple of things with Microsoft.
I just think how like weird and quirky Nintendo is. Like they're not gonna. Like they fly by their own rules. They do whatever the hell they want, right? And like, you know, they make a system with bad online in 2018. So I mean, like.
And a voice chat through mobile without a headset.
Yeah, it's, you know, like just bizarre decisions. So maybe they would go back to it. I don't know, but yeah, they're just this weird company that. No.
Nintendo has always struck me as a company that refuses to follow and always tries to innovate.
Yeah, they do their own
And
thing.
it kind of has to. It kind of
And
has
I
to do
think
with
that's
like,
to their detriment most of the time.
Yeah, so not always.
I think a lot of it has to do with how Japanese hierarchies and bureaucracies are set up, type thing. Because I don't know, this is totally tangential, but did you see the news story this past week about it's like the Japanese Minister of Cybersecurity, who's like 67 years old, has never actually used a PC in his life, like a computer in his life.
Oh dear.
But okay, as strange as it sounds, that kind of made sense because hear this out, okay? Someone in a management position like that doesn't necessarily have to know everything or anything about, you know, the thing himself. He just needs to know the best people and the most qualified people to put in place for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that a standard Japanese hierarchy where there's kind of like you might say an emperor figure at the top who just okays some things, but is the person that decides ultimately what, you know, who makes the decision and has the power to veto literally anything, but ultimately the bare bones of all the decisions, all the under the hood stuff, if you like, is done by the people just below him.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And it's just like
execs or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like you can kind of liken that to even like the U.S. presidential system and everything. You know, like the cabinet members are responsible for doing a lot of the decisions and everything. You know, it's like you don't expect the U.S. president to be making these high-level strategic military like plans or strategies or anything type thing. But
yes, it's a team of people that represent the president. It's never just the one person. As much as people would like to think, it would just be ridiculous for one person to take on that amount of work. And for obviously a company like Nintendo has obviously got a lot of things going. So I think it's the same there.
Yeah.
But that is still very, very shocking. Imagine I don't know, someone like a president said something like, I know nothing of politics, or something like that. I've never picked up a newspaper or something like that. It would be shocking. So that is quite a surprise. I can't believe that. Well,
it's a little bit of a shock, but at the same time, it's not necessarily a display of like gross incompetence or anything. It's just like, oh yeah,
Do you think it's maybe blown out of proportion when actually he's fully capable of using a tablet or a mobile phone? He just doesn't use an actual PC.
Right, yeah. It's like I'm sure he's probably used like a phone at some point, People don't quite understand what computers are nowadays. Like we carry around one with us, but like, there's people don't consider the phones PCs, or computers rather, because PCs is a Windows term, but yeah. Okay, anyway. That's all that. So, will we honestly be missing Sony at E3 this year?
Well, we might actually be able to get some sleep this year.
Yeah, are we kind of saddened by this?
We'll have to see. I feel like the details aren't clear yet. I
Okay.
feel like we're still going to be something around that time. We're going to hear from them. That's me just talking out of my butt, but I think we're going to hear from them some way or another.
Okay.
I reckon every company that makes a presentation is going to have some sort of dig at Sony.
They could just sneak their games in the other, or like get their branding in the Ubisoft one or in the EA one or whatever. They don't always have to have their own thing. They want to get the third-party branding stuff.
Right.
Have the blue logo flash before that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think Sony actually has like a first-party title coming out anymore.
In 18 or 19?
No, just in general.
First-party stuff?
Yeah, it's just like, so it's like first party as in, like God of War was Sony Santa Monica or whatever. That was Sony. But like, all right, that's Stranding, that's Kojima Studios.
Well,
right?
that's like a second party, I guess.
They're not actually developing any games themselves.
Well,
I'm
sure they are, but maybe not ready to present. Type thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're not.
Ghost of Tsushima, that's something, I think. Well, Naughty Dog's doing Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's party.
It's like.
It's like a retro. Oh yeah, but even that's.
It's hard to describe. Like I'm talking about. All right, so like a Nintendo first-party game would be like Zelda or Mario, and occasionally Metroid, depending on how you view Retro Studios for Prime. That's the little asterisk there. But yeah, but it's like, a Sony first-party game. That's stuff that was developed by like Sony Santa Monica. So like God of War, exactly.
Well, yeah, they just happen to call them Sony Santa Monica. I mean, Naughty Dog is still a first-party. They're owned by Sony.
Oh, are they? Okay, I thought they were just a okay. I didn't know that. Okay, never mind. All right, never.
I don't think Kojima is owned. That's just owned by him. I think they're just licensing him out or buying.
Okay, so apart from The Last of Us, does Sony actually have like a first-party series or game or anything like that? Let's
see this Ghost of, what is this?
Tsushima.
Ghost of Sushi.
That's Sucker Punch, which I don't know if they're.
They're
owned by Sony. They're owned by Sony though, because they're Infamous.
Yeah, Infamous. I was gonna say Infamous.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, so those two are.
You'd think like Ratchet and Clank, for instance, you'd think that's like a first-party title, but it's developed by Insomniac.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. It's like there are these quintessential Sony games. It's like, they're developed by another studio.
So you got Bend Studios. They're working on that motorcycle game that will never come out.
Okay.
The zombie one.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
What?
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't actually.
I have no idea.
Bend Studios. They're working on Days Gone.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They're working on Days Gone.
So I just hear motorbikes and zombies, two things I never thought I'd ever see again.
Motorcycle chainsaws and jetpack.
Yeah, I mean, and you always got they're doing that. They always do the MLB stuff, so I'm sure you'll see an MLB game. But
MLB.
The show, the Major League Baseball.
Oh right.
Okay, I guess yeah. Okay.
What's Gorilla working on? Do we know?
Sure. No idea.
Anywho, yeah, I mean,
they got a bit going on.
Okay.
I got a few things cooking.
All right, yeah, this should go a little bit both ways. You know, it's. I don't
Well,
want to say it's like whatever at this point, but it's just like, you know, it's like okay, whatever, Sony.
I mean, they put out some big hitters this year, so from
Yeah,
like the
they
big studios. So it's like, well, now do they have another team? Who knows? Are they working on anything else or DLC? We don't know.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm like really keen to see what Microsoft does, to be honest, next year.
Okay.
yeah, it'll be interesting to
That will be.
see what games I get to play on my PC.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Has there been any speculation on? Well, obviously there's some speculation on the PS5. Has there been anything about the Xbox next
Yeah.
console? Or am I completely...
They announced that
They've
at
already
E3.
talked about it. Yeah.
Early
Scarlet?
rumors indicate, that Scarlet is gonna be pretty insane as far as consoles go in terms of hardware and everything. Like, I've seen a couple of rumors about what the PS5 will allegedly be if it is a home console, and just like I will say that Microsoft will absolutely blow it out the water with hardware.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, they did that with the One X, but then they've.
Yeah, exactly.
What
It's
have
like
they got?
Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft has found how successful they can be despite charging an extra $100 premium. You know, the marketing ploy of the most powerful game console you can buy
With nothing
is
to
very
play
strong.
on it.
Is very strong.
Some good stuff there.
The
I mean,
quiet
like,
man.
I'm sure it's real quiet on that one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But like I've heard people talk about seeing like Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox One. I'm like, dude, it's insane
Yeah.
on that thing compared to
PlayStation.
Yeah.
PS4 Pro.
And you know, just imagine how insane it would be on a proper PC.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't understand why we let Rockstar get away with this sort of thing.
Neither
They
do
pulled
I.
the same crap with RDR1. It was very up in the air about whether or not we would get GTA 5 on PC. But I'm tired of Rockstar treating PC like a second-rate citizen.
Maybe they can't. I don't know. Maybe they don't have the front.
I think it's a way of extending the life cycle of their game.
Yeah, well,
right.
Red Dead's not doing very well.
Well, no, like, so like look at GTA 5. It came out on PS3,
Yeah.
Xbox 360. People bought it there, and then it was like, oh, now it's coming to PS4. People bought it there, and now it's on PC. More people bought it there. So it's just like
Yeah.
letting, you know, kind of this trickling, kind of like episodic games are, where it's like, oh, you can buy this thing. It's still in the brain, right? Like,
Right.
oh, hey, remember Red Dead, that really good game from last year? Now you can play it on PC, and it looks amazing. Come on.
I mean, if they have like the decent multiplayer offering, I don't think that's quite an issue that they need to do these like platform jumps every year or so, or every 2 years to extend the life of it. Because
Well, look at
because,
Rainbow
like, you know,
Six.
people. I was like, you know, people on console, they still play GTA Online this day. People on PC still play the hell out of GTA
There's a
Online
lot of
today.
GTA Online, yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine if this game will be as popular.
Yeah, already
No,
on
it
2
won't
days.
be.
Yeah, I don't think it will be just because of how Red Dead Redemption works.
Yeah.
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 GTA,
But
you
I'm
can, you know, there's mods and all that kind of thing. Like you can do.
Well, there'll be. I'm sure you'll be able to drive a DeLorean in Red Dead Redemption 2 at one point in all that.
Probably.
Right, you'll eventually reach the point where you're just kind of driving around like these old light sports cars or something.
Or
You know?
just like your wheels are horses and you're just like. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure. there'll be
Okay,
some
hear me
weird
out.
stuff.
Hear me out. A horse that has horses for legs.
Perfect. I was gonna say I want a big weird
that
like
sounds horrific.
like those big rubber duck boats, but like a horse, and then
Yeah.
the horse is for wheels, and you're just cruising.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's the
Okay.
train. That's just the train looks.
No. What'll happen is there'll be loads of like custom skins for the horses. So
Oh.
you'll have things like Ferrari horses,
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm
and,
paying for it. Yeah.
Porsche horses, and you know, ridiculously like Star Spangled Banner colored horses and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mustang horses. Oh wait.
Racing stripes make them go faster, so you'd have those as well.
Right. Get our
Yeah,
red
that-
horse to make it go
that's
faster.
awesome.
Holes.
This is a total tangent. I'm curious what online's gonna be because GTA 5 is like a thing, right? There's so much weird stuff going on. I wonder what-
Although I'm sorry, I'm just picturing a Ferrari horse, and that looks really cool actually. There's this bright red horse with this yellow logo on its chest. It looks in my head. It looks absolutely awesome.
Being ridden by John Carmack.
A horse with a horse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, GTA Online got a little bit absurd, but it was nothing too crazy, so you kind of got to wonder if, like, for RDR2, will they delve into the paranormal, kind of like they did with the zombies thing on RDR1?
I think so.
There's a touch of the macabre in there, isn't there? Because I've seen images of like in one of the other episodes, in one of the earlier episodes of Retro Rumble, we looked at like horror moments in gaming, and we had John on, and he referenced a possible Pigsy character from Manhunt, a reference to him.
Sure.
And Pigsy's like this bizarre, maniacal killer, completely out of his mind. Wears a pig's head, is a cannibal, has a chainsaw. He's got all the horror movie tropes all built into one.
I like this guy.
He's actually really awesome a character, and he was my number 3 moment, because you have to basically play hide and seek with him in an attic space in a mansion.
Cool.
Later on in the game, and it's really, really cool and kind of creepy, and just I thought it was a really cool moment. Anyway, so a lot of people said that was a Pigsy reference, because there was a Pigsy reference rather in Red Dead, because there was a. Are you guys familiar with something bizarre called chimera taxidermy?
Oh yes. Okay. Is that where it's like you stick 2 animals together in taxidermy type?
Okay.
As many people sell them on Etsy. It's bizarre stuff.
Okay.
And
I mean, is that the concept though? Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. Yeah.
And John explained to me that there was a room in there where there was all sorts of animals stitched together, and this one on a wall, which appears to be, it looks humanoid. It's got like a more of a boar's head than a pig, I guess. It's got wings, I think, and it's really macabre.
Is this like a Jersey Devil type thing?
There could be. What I'm thinking is it's foreshadowing something, I believe.
Okay.
Something dark and weird, and maybe some sort of psychopathic killer, maybe some sort of demon being created, because I think there's a belief that if you stitch animals together, it'll come to life or something like that. Some sort of weird macabre thing. So yeah, and there's also a pig mask you can find in the game as well.
They've already done some weird stuff. I've seen images of a ghost train.
A ghost train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Ghost train.
A train that is a ghost.
Awesome.
Yes. So there's already weird stuff in that game. Someone said something about there being aliens to me. I have no idea if that's true.
There's always aliens in Rockstar games.
Yes.
They will be. There's always aliens in Rockstar games.
Yeah. So.
They were in Bully, although that was actually part of the story in a way.
They were.
Yeah. Well, they only lightly referenced, but it was a bit more substantial than what GTA has done. GTA has done things like Frozen in the Ice and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And the spaceship underwater, I believe. But in Bully, if I recall, you actually see someone get abducted.
I don't remember that at all. But okay.
Cool.
I can't remember exactly, but there's a guy. I think he's a groundskeeper, and he's a bit out there, a bit spaced. And
It always happens to those people, right? Like...
Oh yeah, there was that guy in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, wasn't he? Got you to sneak into San Andreas' equivalent of Area 51. And I think he's related in some way. So there was a guy similar to that in Bully, who was basically hanging around behind the school or something like that, which is a bit strange. Which suggests something else, really, doesn't it? And you do errands for him, I think. And in one scene, he gets abducted by aliens. I'm sure he does.
Cool.
Excellent.
Like you
All
see him
right.
up in the shaft of light and everything.
All right. Well, this has been the most original topic we're going to cover all day. So anyway, moving on.
Yeah, but you didn't think you'd be talking about chimera taxidermy on this show.
No, but I will say that these next 3 topics are all pretty in line with each other. So, David, we've hoped for maybe a Nintendo 64 Mini, judging that the PlayStation Classic is coming out. So, but yeah, what's the deal with the 64 Mini? How about you tell us? Give us the bad news.
Yeah, so people are obviously going to be very, very familiar with the NES and SNES classics that were released in 2016 and 2017, respectively. So naturally, the next in line of the progression would be the Nintendo 64. And part of that was what stirred that was Nintendo filing a patent. And it's all about a single image, really. It's a single image on the top of boxes for the NES and the Super NES Classic. There's a silhouette of a controller, of the console's respective controller, and Nintendo filed a patent for that sort of image, but for the N64 controller. And of course, everyone's familiar with the very unique N64 controller, so naturally that just fueled things even further. But just recently, Nintendo of America's president, Reggie Fils-Aimé, yeah, he's basically responded to the whole all the questions about the potential for an N64 Classic. And I have a quote here. This is from Nintendo Live, and he's basically poured water on that fire. By basically saying that, I'll read the quote. So he says, well, we were clear when we did the first two classic series that for us, these were limited time opportunities that were a way for us as a business to bridge from the conclusion of the Wii U as a hardware system to the launch of the Nintendo Switch. That was the very strategic reason we launched the NES Classic system. So basically it's just to keep their financial head above water. While the Nintendo Switch was getting its footing. So, and I'll continue. So while consumers may have been anticipating something, we view these as limited time opportunities. We've also now been very clear that as the consumer looks forward to engaging with our classic content, that is going to happen more and more with the subscription service. He said he wouldn't. He's not saying he's going to rule it out or anything like that. But this is another quote here. I would not ever rule something out, but what I can tell you is certainly that's not in our planning horizon. And that makes sense because if they're going to have a retro subscription service on the Switch, having something like an N64 Classic is going to take a lot from that. Because I think there's more money in impulse buying of digital downloads than buying hardware, I think. So I think that's why they're leaning more towards that and not actually dealing with an N64. They're just going to go with the subscription service because they know full well that people are going to be on the Nintendo Switch and they're going to see Banjo-Kazooie and they're going to see Conker's Bad Fur Day and things like that, and they're going to be more likely to buy that game, which could be $6, $7, $8, $10, who knows. And they would likely make way more money than selling a £99 console, like a $99 console or whatever price it may be, like the N64 Classic. So I think they are going to do it, but I think it's just they're going to do the subscription service first, and the N64 Classic probably a good few years down the line, I imagine.
Maybe to bridge the gap between the next console, perhaps.
Yeah, there could be like a little gap between the Switch refresh.
Yeah.
There's okay, so to me, there's a few different ways you can take that statement. It's like, knowing how Reggie's personality is, I'm sure he didn't mean it like that. But, that can kind of come off as, we know you guys will buy this anyway, so here, this will line our pockets a little bit, At the same time, it's like, it does kind of give you an idea for where Nintendo's plans as a business and everything. So it almost to me seems like they have these little mini consoles in their back pocket just in case they need to see the revenue go up a little bit. Because nostalgia sells. We've been through this many times before on the show. So it's just like, it's no question. It's like Nintendo knows these are smart business decisions to release these consoles or these little collectibles, I dare say. And so it almost seems like this is the 64 Mini would be the sort of thing that they have in their back pocket, just kind of ready to pull out when they think revenue might not be up to what they want it to be.
The issue.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
The issue also is that with the N64 Mini, most N64 games were owned by or developed by Rare as well, like most decent ones at least.
Oh, that's right.
And Microsoft owns Rare now, so they can't really jump on board and put Banjo-Kazooie back on or anything like that because it's owned by Rare, unless they obviously buy the rights off Microsoft.
Or they lend it to them. I mean, they
do. So maybe they're kind of killing time until they can do that and get all of that kind of N64 content back onto the Mini. But, I mean, there's no N64 content on the... What's it called? The Switch... What did it used to be called?
The Virtual Console.
Virtual Console, that's it, yeah. There's no 64 content on that though, is there? It's just SNES and NES.
Not on Switch, but there used to be on the Wii.
Yeah.
On Wii U and stuff, you could get N64 game.
But you can't
anymore. How did we?
So,
I'm sorry, but thinking of like a Nintendo 64 game that was on the Virtual Console and everything, how did we not see Pokemon Snap on the Wii U? It had a camera.
Yeah, that's like doing work, like adding work to the game, right?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. It's like.
Oh, you mean like a new one?
Yeah, like how do we not see a
Oh,
redo of Pokemon Snap on the Wii U? Anyway, sorry, that's
Yeah.
completely off base. So yeah, Andrew, do you think they're just waiting for this to pull out at the right time, or do you think Nintendo just legit is like, well, maybe down the road we will, but
I think it's obviously in the back of their minds. Too easy to sell. Well, at the same time, you look at the PlayStation 1 Classic, and if people complaining about those games, boy, the N64 did not have good games either. There's like
right,
there's like 3 games that are like, yeah, those are fantastic games.
right.
And
Come
it's
on,
like,
GoldenEye,
what are
any
the
day.
other? GoldenEye is terrible. You
I know,
said that,
I
now
was-
you will
I
hate
know.
it.
GoldenEye is not a good game.
It's good for the time, but now it,
For its time, yeah, but it does not hold up in any
no,
way, shape,
it
or
doesn't hold up. There's only a few games that really hold up. You're looking at like the Zeldas and
Yeah.
Mario
Yeah,
64.
Well, it's like you probably
anything-
wouldn't even see Zelda, would you? Because they did Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the 3DS not so long
There's no way
ago.
of not putting that on.
anything from the early polygonal graphic era of video games doesn't really hold up today because it's all so janky and wobbly and horrible. I think a couple of weeks ago I was playing Tomb Raider, and I was just astonished at how all the characters look like they're having mini seizures because they just
Triangle
constantly-
boobs.
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't worry.
they just even when they're talking or even when they're just picking something up, their just arm is just shaking, and I just thought, wow, how did this sort of thing get past their QA guys?
Yeah.
This was the best they could do at the time, you know?
But
It's
it was
like,
the best they could do, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, very few games from that era will hold up, and that's probably that might be another reason why they won't go with the N64 Classic because they think maybe some of those games aren't really that good. The only game that comes to mind that I can think of that I believe still holds up is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Well, I'd say Mario 64.
But yeah, it's like you would probably see Mario 64 for sure. There's no way that wouldn't be on there on the theoretical N64 Mini. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, also,
Zelda's could go either way.
and
There's not a lot on there. Like what?
I think Anthony's hit the nail on the head, though. I think it's just the right thing.
the other
I
issue
think
is as well,
they'd be up for a battle if they were to
Yeah.
try and get those rights again. I
Big-
think.
Anthony, go ahead.
because Microsoft did the Rare Replay as well for
Yeah.
Xbox One, they couldn't even get those rights back anymore, so that's off the table.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
they wouldn't be able to do it.
I just don't think they have the games
That's what I mean.
right now. I mean,
yeah, I just think they'll be able to compete with the PS1 Classic. That's
I get the
probably-
feeling we would almost see a Wii Classic before we saw an N64 Classic.
but even
GameCube
now, it's
doesn't sound
bad.
right.
It's the same thing. Like Wii is just like what fantastic games were on the Wii besides like Mario's.
Oh, you should do like No More Heroes.
That
Uh,
are you gonna sell mini controller too?
yeah, you would have to, you know. It's just
Mini
like,
motion controller.
they even did a Wii Mini, didn't they? Like near the
They
end
did
of
the
its lifetime?
Canada one, which was just like this doesn't. I think it was no online and everything like that.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think it came to the states.
Oh,
It was like $100
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look at even the Wii. It's like what you got the Mario's, you got the 2 Zeldas,
Yeah, Mario
GameCube?
Galaxy, you had Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, yeah.
you had
Two Zeldas.
the Mario Kart, which was like the best Mario, like the most fastest selling Mario Kart.
Or, okay, maybe, I forgot the GameCube existed, which is like a travesty, because I grew up with that system.
That would make a
I-
lovely mini console, just from a design standpoint. Just this little box.
It's already
Adorable
tiny. Yeah.
little box. It would look, that'd be cool. I reckon they should. I would go as far as to say that they should even skip the N64 and just go straight to the GameCube.
Yeah.
For the next mini.
There's a
console.
few more on the GameCube I can understand, like maybe like Eternal Darkness,
Luigi's Mansion, Eternal Darkness. Yeah.
like on top of all your Mario's and your Smash Brothers and stuff, which are obvious shoe-ins.
Mhm.
But yeah, you always run into the issue of just like
Okay,
what games does Nintendo have? First of all, can they put on here and second of all, good enough to be considered a classic?
right.
Or
And that's
the-
almost the issue Sony ran into.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the Sony,
Yeah.
people look at this system and go, "That's what? Why is this game on here?"
Right,
Or
yeah.
sometimes for good reason. Like, why is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six on here? That game was not a classic on PlayStation 1. You're like, no, they're right, but
Right, yeah,
it's on there now.
okay.
Who knows?
Alright, still, yeah, let's maybe...
Hope it comes. I'm excited if it comes. If it comes, I'll probably get one of those.
So would I.
Although
Yeah,
I do have
interesting.
like 2 N64s in my house. So like,
Nice.
I have,
Snowball
Well,
Kids!
yeah, dude, that game is good. I feel like I bring this up every time. The More Kids is fantastic. It's super underrated. I was
Okay.
playing not too long ago. Like, got some good mechanics. You can shoot the thing. You can turn into a ghost. It goes through you.
Yeah, I know. That was like an overdone outburst, but anyway, I just remembered that it could be on the
No,
Switch. I mean, on the
I talk up
60 volt.
snowboard kids a lot when it gets brought up.
I understand
fine.
that game has garnered some serious value now.
That's Snowboard Kids 2.
Oh, okay.
I went
like
down this hole.
quality.
I went down this hole. Snowboard Kids 2 is insanely expensive for some reason. I guess it's super rare. The first one.
Most of the time it's because they get pulled, or they were briefly available. And another good example of that would be, what's it called? Well, there's a game for the NES. Little Samson.
Track and Field.
Little Samson, and Track and Field even more so. Yeah. It was pulled because of the controller that was
The
meant
pad.
to go with it. Was also pulled for some reason. So the games were then pulled. So like it was only on the shelf for like a few weeks or something like that.
There was a Nintendo DS remake of Snowboard Kids.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How did I miss
Alright.
that?
Anthony's like, why was I not informed?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
yeah. I'm gonna segue into the next topic here. Anthony, what good games does the Neo Geo have? Because apparently they're making a miniature version of that one.
Okay, so
so many.
so many, yeah. They already have a mini Neo Geo. They've got an international version and a EU version, I believe. The international version is predominantly for Australia and all the countries that aren't in, and even America as well. But they're doing a Christmas special edition, just what we need. And it comes... Excellent. They don't have a release date for it. They don't have a price for it. It's like garishly red with a reindeer on it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was based on the MVS arcade machine that the.
What
they
the
had
hell
for-
does SNK do anymore?
Wait, I
No,
thought they already
it's-
had them. Didn't they already have the Neo Geo Mini?
Yeah, they do. But they're doing a special edition. Come on, keep up, Andrew.
Oh, sorry.
The
They're
holiday
doing a version
special.
that you're going to feel they're doing a version that you're going to feel very stupid playing come January.
Exactly.
Play more.
So SNK has announced that the Neo Geo Mini is set to receive a limited edition Christmas variant, which will come with more games included.
Oh, why?
This edition has 48 games available to play, as opposed to the standard edition's 40. So currently, I'm not going to read them all out, because I'll be here all day. But it's going
Metal
to be
Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, not Metal Gear, sorry, Metal Slug 1, Metal Slug 2, Metal Slug 3.
Aggressive Dark Combat Blues Journey, Burning Flight, Cyber Lip, King of Monsters 2, Magician Lord, Metal Slug 3 to 5. Ninja Combat is a new inclusion. Ninja Commando, Ninja Masters, Robo Army, Sengoku 3, Shock Troopers Second Squad. The Super Spy is also a new one as well. Top Hunter, Roddy and Kathy, whatever that is. Alpha Mission 2,
Shoot 'em
Blazing Star, Twinkle Star Sprites, League Bowling is also a new inclusion. Soccer Brawl is also a new inclusion. Super Sidekicks, Top Players Golf, Art of Fighting, Fatal Fury 1 through 3, and new inclusions as well. Real Bout Fatal Fury Special.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is also a new inclusion. And Savage Rain is also a new inclusion. And they've got
I'm really sorry,
what?
but how is SNK still around?
Dude, they got a lot of stuff.
They got no.
Don't they make a lot of the games that are played at esports, and aren't they heavily involved in esports, but beat 'em up games in there?
No, so they
Using like Art of Fighting and King of Fighters.
King of Fighters 14 came out last year, I think, and it wasn't necessarily a hit.
Yeah, it's like they do King of Fighters. Never heard of that before. Yeah, I've never actually heard of King of Fighters.
Dude, that
before.
game has been around since like 94. King of Fighters 94, 95.
97 through to
That's
2002.
not the-
Okay, they're up
That's
to
not the
13
earliest
now, by the
Yeah.
way.
Look, they used to go by year. It used to be King of Fighters 98,
Okay.
which is my
And
favorite.
I'm sorry, they're
I
up to 14.
It even
Now they're
comes with a pack of stickers.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh,
weird.
good. Now I'm on board.
SNK has been focused more on production of patches slot and mobile games. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, the
Got
patch slot
it.
market is huge.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So that's how they're still afloat. Because, like, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now.
And
It's like,
Pachinko.
how does this place have 123 employees, but only bring in $3 million a year?
Oh, they They do. I feel like they've done something recently, at least.
Yeah, they released the Neo Geo Mini Holiday Special.
The SNK heroines. I don't know.
Taylor, keep up. They've released the Neo Geo Mini International version, and they're doing the Christmas special. Come on.
Sorry.
It comes with a HDMI cord and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stickers and 2 controllers.
They also released all their old games on like PS4 and like Xbox One, so you can just like buy an overpriced version for like $7 if you really want.
I just loved the Neo Geo.
They announced a new Samurai Showdown, I thought, didn't they?
Oh, did they? Okay.
Wait, Anthony, was there no Metal Slug in that list?
There's a lot of Metal Slug. It's like
not in this. Oh yeah,
there's plenty of Metal Slug.
2 through 5. Metal Slug 2.
Yeah, don't worry about it. There's plenty of Metal Slug.
3, 4,
Yeah,
and 5.
no. For a second, I thought they weren't including it, which I thought was really strange. But no, cool.
I actually saw someone playing the other version at Evo, and he was sitting there with a little stick and like doing combos on like the computer. I should have put that up. I have that video of this guy just going to town on the little tiny thing. It's pretty funny.
Just check on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I have it. I should post that somewhere.
Okay. The Neo Geo cost like $600 when it first came out. Oh my god.
The NBS, yeah,
it was one of the most expensive consoles I've ever made.
That's good.
I think it might be I think it might be number one actually. I think it's in today's money is like a little over $1,000.
Yeah, that's about right.
Or something like that.
Is it? Correct me if I'm wrong, David. Is the NBS the one that takes the literal like arcade board and like plug it in, or no?
Yeah, it's the Neo Geo multi video system, if I recall, and all it is it's genius in many ways because it saves money on production cost of the machines, and essentially all it is a Neo Geo home console type hardware inside an arcade cabinet, which has I believe four slots for a cartridge. So basically, you can take a Neo Geo cartridge and just pop it straight into the MVS.
That's right.
And it also allowed people to take their saves as well, if I recall.
Too bad that
which is quite cool.
Very
I
expensive.
feel like you just have one like on a shelf behind you somewhere, David.
An MVS.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Sadly, that would be a hard. Well, no, I wouldn't have one of those. I'd have the arcade system, which is like the console with the arcade sticks. I don't have one of those, but that would be one of the major ticks on my wish list, definitely.
That's like the cartridge based one, right?
Yeah, that's the cartridge equivalent of the MVS system. Yeah, it's basically the same sort of hardware, really. Yeah. But you are right, Andrew. The cartridges are not only huge; they're also incredibly expensive. Even when they were sold, if I understand correctly, if I remember correctly, they were approaching about $100 for the games. And the console itself, as you mentioned earlier, was upwards towards 600 or so. So somehow it managed to do quite well. But the thing is, back in its day, it was so far ahead of everything else. It's just amazing it didn't do better business, but it didn't beat the PS1. It didn't beat anyone else really. It barely made us. It did well in Japan, I believe, but I don't think it did much. It didn't have much success elsewhere. But despite being super expensive, it did well for SNK. But no, crazy expensive, but also way more powerful than anything.
Let's say this had 32-bit before anything. Okay.
I mean, it's basically like an arcade machine, but
yeah. Had a 24-bit graphics data bus. That's great for when it released.
Yeah.
Wow.
Real cool.
Yeah, this thing is no slouch, actually.
I forget looking at these like SNK lists. Man, I forgot how big of an SNK like arcade guy I was, and how much I love like some of those games.
It has more RAM than a Commodore 64.
Oh dear.
Okay, sorry. It's amazing what 8 watts of power got you back in the day. Okay, anyway. Did you know that this November is the Wikipedia Asian month?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It was a banner when I was shutting up the Neo Geo there.
Oh,
okay.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so in the world of mini like consoles, so to speak, like these little mini collectibles, I think I found my favorite so far. I present the PC Mini,
Oh no.
which is on Kickstarter. Okay. So, or I'm sorry, this is the PC Mini Classic or the PC Classic with a price of TBD. It's a DOS. It's being marketed as a DOS game console. Okay.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm just going to read off the little description page here. The PC Classic is a miniature game console that lets you play classic DOS games at home, at parties, conventions, and wherever else computer games from the 80s and 90s are required. The system is joystick-enabled, pre-configured, licensed, and incredibly easy to use. The system is scheduled to begin crowdfunding in late November, early December of this year, and is slated to release in late spring, early summer 2019. Our target price is $99.
That's like 150 here. I'm good.
This little thing, it
That'll be about 60, 65, 60 pounds for me. I'll
Yeah.
pass.
this little thing, it's well, it looks like one of those really older IBM machine. And of course, it is, as they refer to it in the article, the chain smoker yellow. Or I'm sorry, the chain smoker beige.
There you go.
So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The very the plastic. Yeah.
The plastic
Like an old
cream.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, that's
white
fine.
that's faded.
Yeah. Anyway, the PC Classic will come with at least 30 games, with more available to purchase separately. We don't yet have a list of confirmed titles, which kind of scares me a little bit.
That's a little.
Yeah, but they want to, quote, provide all the games that define the PC gaming experience of the 80s and 90s.
80s and 90s. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like Doom, Wolfenstein will probably be on here. Elder Scrolls Arena, maybe. I'd be surprised if we saw Marathon on there.
Fallout, like the first Fallout. Was that a
No,
No.
DOS game? No,
that was. What's one with the house and everything?
What?
David would know that the
What's that?
like with the house and it's like a adventure game. You know what I'm talking about?
every game has a house, does it not?
Yeah, the house doesn't really narrow it down for me.
I can't think of.
It's an adventure game. What, Maniac Mansion?
No. This is
Top of my
like,
head is.
like old adventure game. Like one of the.
Oh, Alone in the Dark.
No, I don't remember. It's fine. Someone will think of it.
All right, we're gonna see. So it's like Oregon Trail, right? Hopefully, please.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, Oregon Trail, please. Okay. That's it. I'm sold. So what's our interest level in all of these? So going from the 3 we just talked about, on like a scale of 1 to 10, what are y'all's interest levels on the N64, the Neo Geo, and the now this classic PC? What
I'll be interested when they come up with a BBC Micro Mini, which is a weird name. But that is a computer that was not made, or at least didn't make much of a dent outside of the UK. So so yeah, the PC Engine, even the N64 Mini, or even PS1 Classic, I have no interest whatsoever.
Oh, okay. Anthony?
Be quite blunt about it.
I would go for 64 over anything.
Okay. Andrew?
I'll take a 60.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the 64 is so silly.
I would
That
consider,
easy access to Mario Party, the world is doomed.
man.
Exactly.
You can bring the
Friendships everywhere will be ruined.
Andrew, you can take it to parties. Come on.
Exactly.
And have a Mario Party.
You can portable it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm actually most impressed with the hardware that's in this thing, okay? So it's basically a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
They all are, really, aren't they?
I know, but... Oh, wow, that's actually a really good point. Yeah. Okay, so it's pretty much just a Raspberry Pi that's been pre-configured a little bit. And they do kind of sarcastically answer this question, why can't I just buy a Raspberry Pi and configure it the way you do? There has been a ton, so for those of you not in the know, the Raspberry Pi runs a 1.4 gigahertz ARM processor. ARM is kind of this alternative microprocessing company that's as large as, like, say, your AMD or Intel, but you might have never heard of them or anything. And so ARM is actually doing some pretty insane things architecturally right now, that in contrast to Intel and AMD. It's like their entire way of approaching larger processing and everything on these smaller dies is just far and away just future years ahead of what Intel is looking to do or AMD is looking to do. Because AMD and Intel are looking to kind of spread it wider type thing. But anyway, so ARM, which is pretty cool. Their architecture is super duper modifiable. And David, you were bringing this up past the show. There exists on like a Windows machine and everything. There exists a DOS emulator called DOSBots that you or I can get and install on our PCs right now. But the thing is that it doesn't quite work so well, type thing. Part of it has to do with the bits and architecture and everything. Since DOS had come out, we've moved to 86 and everything processes. And so the emulator doesn't quite play nice as well and everything. This ARM processor on the Raspberry Pi in the PC Mini here has been modified to more emulate a DOS machine. So for all intents and purposes, it's less of an emulator and more of just a DOS machine with an overclocked processor and a ton of memory, which I think is pretty cool. If that made any sense to anyone.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I know what a processor is.
Well, it's like, okay, so since DOS has come out, we've moved from quantifying processor speed from megahertz up to gigahertz. So, yeah, it's just a... Anyway. So, yeah, this is like, if people are saying it's like, oh, this isn't worth the money, I don't know, I think this kind of is, especially if you're into it, because there's been a ton of software level development that's gone into it.
I don't know.
So, but I mean, nobody cares, so whatever.
I mean,
okay.
If you're into like getting a box and and having a Raspberry Pi in it and not doing the work, just having it delivered to you, it's not a bad little.
Right.
And as long as the games on there are, and it's easy way to put more games on there.
But for $160, it's a bit.
I mean, you're also paying for like the licensing too and whatnot.
That's pretty much
That's a
Have they confirmed what games are going to be on there, or have you already said that and I totally missed it?
No. They said at least 30, but they're all unconfirmed.
And if the Chainsmoker beige doesn't complement your furniture, they will offer at least one other color and a more modern palette.
And then added on to
Sweet
that
gray.
statement is heretic, correct?
Yes. Because if you don't like Chainsmoker beige, you're a heretic.
Heretic?
Yeah, that's what they say on their article, apparently.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the game for a second.
Oh, no. So, any like classic PC games you guys are super hoping makes it onto here?
Heretic.
Jill the Jungle.
Heretic.
Okay.
Doom.
Blood.
Yeah.
Blood is great. Kicking brains about in there. Fantastic.
What else would be on there?
I'm thinking
That's
Elder
just it.
Scrolls Arena.
I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about these games. So when people think DOS, most people are only familiar with Doom when it comes to DOS. I think, in my opinion.
Ooh,
At least outside of PC gaming circles. So I can see this appealing to PC enthusiasts or PC gaming enthusiasts, but not many people.
There's quite a few actually. Like you could get Wolfenstein 3D, Prince of Persia, Duke Nukem.
Yeah. I was memeing earlier, but I was serious about Oregon Trail.
I'm sure Myst will be on there.
Yeah. Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2.
When did that come?
Dark
96?
Souls?
It was like 94,
Warcraft
I think.
2, 95.
95.
Oh, okay.
Is there a Garfield game on there? Let's get a Garfield game on there.
There's Jazz Jackrabbit.
Yeah.
So,
Lemmings.
Oh, I was just about to say Lemming.
Virtual
Civilization.
Springfield?
Mario teaches typing.
SimCity.
City definitely should be on there.
Warcraft.
Hey, that's a good. Actually, Anthony just made me think of something. Is it going to come with a controller or a keyboard?
There's got two USB plugs. I think you can just.
It's going to. I think it's going to be configured to support a gamepad, keyboard, and/or mouse as appropriate.
Ooh,
What's
So
our
when you play
combat
with the mouse,
controls?
you end up dragging it across the
Current-
floor or something.
Yeah, current plans are to include at least a gamepad with the system. They want to work with suppliers and hopefully offer a mini keyboard and mouse to complement it as well.
That's a little silly, but.
With nice cigarette burn details and stuff like that, yeah.
Exactly.
When you give a shake, all crumbs come out and stuff.
Yeah. Original Civilization.
There's actually quite a
Secret.
few. Monkey
Yeah, The
Island,
Secret of
Mortal
Monkey
Kombat,
Island. Yeah.
Indiana Jones, Dark Forces.
Original
Better be easy to
Warcraft.
hack as
Contra?
Oh no.
well.
Oh.
Contra on keyboard, interesting.
What
Uh-oh.
about
GTA?
Hey, the original Fallout was DOS
Wing-
actually. It
Wing
was just at
Commander?
the end of DOS. Yeah. Elite.
What about Virtual Springfield?
Oh man, I remember Redneck Rampage. Jeez
Yeah.
Louise.
Oh,
was that-
Tetris!
Tomb Raider. The original Tomb Raider was also on DOS.
UFO?
Yeah, that's like an XCOM, right?
Master
Command
of
and
Orion?
Conquered. Red Alert.
Yeah. Oh.
There's Super Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
I think that was a really bad version of it. Yeah.
Half-Life was also on DOS.
Oh,
So was
Oh,
Star
shit.
Wars Dark Forces. Yeah, there's a decent
I
looking
might
amount of
actually
games that.
get this.
Yeah, there's a decent looking amount of games that should be.
Stand-
I know. It's like you look at this face value. It's like, oh, what games were on DOS? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, there's actually, yeah, it's actually a fair bit.
I said Jill of the Jungle, and then this came up. Yeah, beautiful.
Dangerous Days.
I can see Half-Life being on there, and I can see them really marketing that. Or at least they should, because it's the greatest first-person shooter ever made.
Castlevania.
Wow, you really want to go there? Okay, that's another time or place there, David.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, okay, that's yeah. So that's the PC Mini. Go fund it on Kickstarter when it goes up, please. I want to
Also,
see this come
I
to fruition.
feel like we made this joke a while ago.
What?
PC Mini. Like we were just like, hey, what about a PC Mini?
Oh,
Yeah, I think we did
Some
too.
jerk comes along like, we're gonna make it a reality.
Can we sue for like royalties on the idea?
I'm sure everyone in their
Like, intellectual
everyone
property.
has made that joke. It's not.
But publicly though, like we
Yeah.
have a recording of us making it. You know.
But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing that we'll see. It's
see.
just, I don't know. I also feel weird because like these people are just trying to capitalize on like the name PC Mini and like I don't know.
Yeah.
What even is a PC Mini?
Yeah,
It's
right. Like you know, people exactly.
Raspberry Pi.
Right.
It's so exactly right. So it's like it's a little weird that these people are like trying to like jump on this like mini console.
Every that's why I joked about the BBC Micro, because I could actually see that happening, because it's a fairly obscure machine, but it would look pretty cool in a mini version. And there were some very interesting complete rip-offs of arcade games like Defender and Pac-Man. There was a Pac-Man clone called Monsters. It was a straight rip-off. Color scheme, ghosts, the design of the monsters and everything. It was a complete rip-off, and for the most part, it was my first introduction to those games as well, which is really strange. But no, there are things like there are a couple of there are two microcomputers that I know have mini versions, like the Sinclair Spectrum, which has gone through a couple of iterations. There was the Vega a little while back, which failed miserably, and there's another one coming up soon. I forget what it's called. So this sort of thing doesn't really surprise me. We're gonna have way more weirder things than this.
Look, David, you're a week early. If you come back next week, it'll be announced.
Yeah.
Are we good? What?
I can cut out there.
If you come
Yeah,
back
I lost you.
if you come back next week, it'll be announced because you know
Yeah.
PC Mini got
that'll be
announced after
very
we told them about it.
I'm just trying to think what could be the most obscure, like the Bali Astrocade Mini. I have a console actually. I have a console on my shelf that is so obscure it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Nice.
What's it
I don't know what
called?
you've- A Teleng Color Stars.
Okay.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
It's-
never heard about that.
Also,
It's very interesting.
Is that the one you're
I don't
like, you're like punching in numbers to play the game or something?
No, well, sort of, yeah, kind of.
Right?
It
God.
comes with a bunch of cartridges that have like 6 games on them each.
It's not the one you're thinking of, though, Andrew.
Oh, it's not that one. Okay.
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like
Oh,
it has
you're
that little,
talking
like,
about the TV Boy, I believe.
I think so. It's like the one with like a little like joystick on one, or like it wasn't even a joystick. It's like this almost like D-pad thing on the front of
Yeah.
it, or on the top of it, and then like the bottom was like a phone type number pad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
that
okay.
terrible console.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, that was oh god, that was genuinely bad.
Talk
I
about
want
the
a mini
rip-off games
version
that
of
had like
that.
some rip-offs, right? That was the Pac-Man rip-offs and the Pitfall rip-offs. Stuff like that.
The Teleng Color Stars is really interesting because of the limitations. and many consoles from its era as well. Very interesting. Because of its limitations, it's very interesting to see how they are trying to... What they basically do, they're taking the essence of Pong and trying to manipulate it so it has like a kind of a... So it approximates other sports.
Okay.
So things like basketball, when really it's just Pong.
Yeah.
Shooting into a tiny hole, one player Pong shooting into a tiny hole. Then you've got like American football, where it's sort of you're using the Pong paddle to pass to the dot on the other side of the screen. You know,
Sure.
it's really interesting, and I would love to do like a little bit of a piece on it in some way, just to demonstrate all these weird ways that they've tried to approximate all these different sports, like even racing or horse racing and stuff like that, when really it's just Pong manipulated to look different and act different. It's fascinating, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we get a Commodore 64 or Apple II Mini, please?
There is a Commodore 64 Mini.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that.
When did that happen?
Yeah, hold on.
I don't know if it was perhaps it was only a Europe thing. I don't know. But as far as I know, it's worldwide, and I think it was released. Well, I could be wrong. It might have been announced for this Christmas. I could be wrong.
Oh, no, I
But
just
as far
found
as I
it.
know, it's been launched, and I think it was like back in summer.
Okay. Oh my gosh, okay.
It's an adorable little thing.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
I love
Taylor's
this.
going into a coma.
I love this. Okay. Okay, wow. Yeah, that is a thing. Never mind, my wish has been granted. Okay. Anyway, so I think that kind of wraps gaming news. I know we were pretty original during that segment, guys. Yeah. A very great variety of news topics. So movie and TV news. Yeah, I don't want to say this is the elephant in the room, but like, there's no way we're not to talk about this. Stan Lee passed away at 95 earlier this week. So our thoughts are with any of his surviving family members, and I think we'll all miss him here.
Yeah, pour one out for him.
Yeah. So, because that is sort of the format, little news blurb. I think the better discussion question for it would be, what's your favorite like Marvel either comic or movie?
Oh.
Does it have to be him partially created, or?
Yes, it was just Marvel. Like,
Okay.
it's just Marvel.
Ooh, that's,
Dear me.
I really like the Punisher Netflix series. I know he probably didn't.
Oh no!
But I really like that one.
I didn't think about that, but now that you say that, that probably is right up there. If we're going to mix TV shows and film, that's probably in my personal top 5, I imagine.
I like that one.
Okay.
You're not a fan?
You can't be serious, surely.
What's wrong with the? I
you
like
not
the
like it?
Punisher. I like the
Oh
Punisher.
no. Because the first 3 episodes is like him smashing down a wall, that's it. That's the
Oh, he
whole
figured it
thing.
That's the Punisher does.
He's punished, man. Just let him do his thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes the walls need to be punished as well.
Exactly.
Oh,
They get in the way all the time.
Yeah.
no.
I enjoyed that one.
Oh dear, there's too many. At the time, probably Avengers, like the original one.
Oh, okay.
Oh god, man.
Okay.
But as far as like all-time favorite, I'd probably say Iron Man 1.
Pretty good classic, yeah.
Yeah.
I could probably agree with that if I off the top of my head. If I give you some more thought, I probably would come up with something different. But that is definitely a standout one for me.
Or even
Blade.
Guardians of the Galaxy. That was decent.
Blade.
Blade. Okay.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
got-
thank
with
you.
the-
Yes, that is my number one. Blade.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
Blade.
I haven't
Yeah, that
That
seen
is my number
Blade.
one.
It's a little cheesy because it is
Oh,
from like
it's so cool.
the early whenever, like one of the first Marvel movies, I want to say, right?
Yeah.
Dude, for me that if you love a scene in a film where someone gets their sunglasses back, that's like a thing for you. Blade
Okay.
does the best version of that I've ever seen, and I remember watching that when I was a kid. I must have rewound and watched it like 15 times. So I was like, I've never seen someone do that in such a cool way. In fact, I've never seen someone do that before ever. But there were other ways of doing it, and it was depicted in other films. That is my number one right there.
I can't remember if it's Blade
So
2
cool.
or 1 where like they're in the rave and it's just raining blood.
That's one.
Both.
That's
so
one?
but more
so,
one. Yeah.
So silly. I love Blade. How silly it is.
That's
Okay.
like the only part of Blade that I've seen, like the first 10 minutes or so.
It
of
was
That's
super
it.
famous, that sequence. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
There's
No,
some,
that
good,
is-
there's
that
some
is
good
fine.
lines. He has one of my favorite lines in. I think it's gotta be Blade 1, where he just is like, people always trying to ice skate uphill. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He says
okay.
it slightly more aggressively, and so
Yes, he has some
Uh,
choice language. in it, but-
something not suitable for this stream, but he basically says some people are always trying to ice skate uphill,
So good.
and yeah, so good, yeah.
so bad.
Okay.
Taylor, come on, you haven't said yet.
Yeah, I know. I was letting this conversation go out because Blade is good. But my favorite Marvel movie will always be the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh,
Not 3.
So I'm not
Not
laughing.
three.
Sorry.
Not 2. It will
I
forever be the
watched-
first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
really?
Yeah, I love that movie so much.
Now, I don't actually
It's a
know
lot of fun.
if people are just being sarcastic or if this is actually true answers or not.
Have you seen it recently?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it.
Dude,
maybe it.
How
maybe,
can you take Tobey Maguire serious? His face doesn't
He's a-
change at all during anything.
I know.
He's just like.
He's an
I
idiot.
know. I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care. I love that movie so much. Okay. I used to watch it just all the time.
And
when
like
I
they're
was
like
a kid.
Okay,
bullying
you're
him
fired.
in like college. They're like beating him up in college. Like,
No, he was still in high school in this one. He was still in high
was
school in this
it?
one.
It
Yeah.
seemed like college.
No, he was still in high school.
Okay. Are you sure? Because he looks way too old to be in it.
Yes, he was still in high school in the first one. Okay.
It's so ridiculous. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You know, it's not everything. It has that cool like lunch catch scene in the beginning
Oh, I
where
forgot
like
how
he-
bad
yeah,
that is.
There's
so
that.
bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
You have Bonesaw and the
Oh
wrestling.
yeah, Bonesaw is ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the Macho Man did that.
Yeah, it's got everything. Okay, I love it.
Yeah, Bonesaw's pretty good. All right, just for Bonesaw alone, we're good.
Just for Bonesaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean,
Alright,
what's
yeah,
your
so-
favorite Marvel movie? Come on.
That's my answer.
Pizza time, whatever that means. Okay, cool.
I don't know if that's
Spider-Man 2.
Is that a
I did
Spider-Man 2 thing?
2 reference, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's more to the game though. TBH. Anyway, so yeah, once again, Stanley will be missed.
Even the game was bad with him in it. But Spider-Man 2 is great, but his whole
What?
like voice and everything.
Oh,
is just
sorry. I
bad.
meant yeah. I was gonna say Spider-Man 2. The game was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, did you actually know Stan Lee is like a skin in that game?
Yeah, he's also a student in like the Amazing Spider-Man that released.
Oh, I wonder if they're gonna do it for the new. It'd be cool if they patched one in for the new one.
You would hope so. Yeah.
That would be fun. I hope they can do that.
Anyway, so I think that about wraps us up for this week, guys. Except for the games releasing segment, which I totally did not forget about.
Sure.
Anthony, what craziness is going on this week?
Only like 5 this week, not many.
Okay.
But there's a couple of good ones. So Double is going to Steam Early Access, obviously on PC, on November the 17th, which is today for you guys. It's 18th
Oh wow,
for
okay.
us.
Yeah.
Marvel Spider-Man DLC 2 Turf Wars is going to PS4 on November the 20th. They might patch in a skin for that, maybe. Don't know. Battlefield 5 is going to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on November the 20th. Warframe is going to Switch, also on November the 20th as well. Squishies is going to PSVR on November the 20th. Experiment Gone Rogue is going to Steam Early Access, which is for Rift or Vive on November the 20th as well. Woodpunk is going to PC on November the 22nd, and Battery Jam is going to Switch on November the 22nd, and December the 4th for EU, and that's it for this week. Not much, but it's next week's
Okay.
supposed to be quite large, so see what happens.
All right. Awesome. So, David, where can the good
Cool.
people find you on the internet, like Twitter or something?
Yeah, so the best place to follow me is probably the place where I'm most active, and that's on Instagram. I like to post a lot of my retro video game collecting adventures on there, which is Level 80 Space Ninja, and that's LVL80 Space Ninja. I wanted to come up with an absolutely stupid name, and I thought that was probably the best I could come up with.
It's my favorite name.
And you can also follow the Rumble Podcast, which I host as well, on Instagram, which is Retro Rumble Pod, and it's Retro Rumble Pod on everything, and also there's a Retro Rumble Pod chat on Discord as well. So that's probably the best way, all the ways that I can be reached.
Okay, Andrew, where are you at?
You can find me on various social media sites at Duronski. It's DURONSKI. Hit me up there. Ask me any questions. Talk to me.
All right.
Hopefully, I'm thinking I downloaded all the Extra Life stuff. I'm gonna try to break it up into chunks, hopefully, and maybe get that on the YouTube.
You should just
page.
chuck the Quiet Man one up, and that's it.
I know I need to get that one up because that is
No,
How long
man.
did it take you to go through that? Out of curiosity.
It's like 2 to 3 hours. Not
Yeah.
long.
Oh, okay.
But it's, you know what's really funny is they actually patched it.
Oh, no.
All voice now. All the voices are in the game now. If you beat it once, you can now play through it again with all the actual voices. I'm thinking about doing another playthrough because
You regains hearing. You regains hearing if you
yes.
beat it once. Okay.
I kind of want to play it. I don't want to play it again, but I kind of.
No, Andrew, you're not allowed to stream anything else until you beat Contra.
We don't talk about Contra here.
Man, it might not be like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I should probably be.
All right, Anthony. COG is your life, and your recently exhumed Twitter account is going to die again.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you can find me at Infurious Elecon on Twitter. I've stopped tweeting about Corsair's bullshittery, so yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The last
Yeah.
thing was non-PG, but cool.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
That's PG. PG movies allow at least one F-bomb. So
Oh, okay.
No,
as far as
that's,
I know.
that's PG-13 movies. Or no, PG movies do? I don't know.
Not here.
No,
I thought
no, not here.
PG-13
It's
was-
PG-13. You're allowed one. Yeah.
It's like M here, I think.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, that does it for this week's Power Up podcast. If you liked this episode, make sure to give us a like, follow us, and always subscribe as well. And also let us know your comments down in the comment box below. We are pushing for 100 subscribers, as you're probably well aware, and if you help us reach that goal, one lucky subscriber will be winning a game of their choice valued up to 60 USD. We are also approaching our 1-year anniversary, which is the big 52 episodes, that is, which will probably be happening before Christmas. I believe that's when we started. Before Christmas last year. Crikey, it's gone on quite a long time. That's going to be quite a large episode, probably an extended podcast episode for that one. Maybe a party, maybe some gameplay, depending on what's going on and what we're feeling like. It will be something very special. As always, guys, have a great rest of your day, and don't forget to follow us. Enjoy.